Okay, we're going to talk about some troubleshooting. Sometimes the things that are wrong are quite simple, and you'll be real easy to fix things if you just follow some simple steps. So the first thing is we want to go back to the origin, which is the thread. Don't be afraid of changing the thread. Sometimes there is such a thing as a bad spool of thread. So change the spool of thread if you feel necessary. The other thing is that coming off the spool, sometimes the thread falls underneath the spool. Sometimes it gets just hung up over here somehow or another. And what happens is that this ends up being straight. And when that happens, you know you've got an issue coming off the spool. So just be aware that it all starts at the origin, at the thread. So be aware of the thread, how it's coming off, very simply. Make sure that when you thread the machine that it's threaded properly, that it comes down and does the things in the threading procedure. If it's missing one step in the threading, really, if you don't get it behind the tension, if you don't get it on the check spring properly, if it doesn't go through the take-up lever, if it's not threaded from the left to the right, it's just not going to work. So if you thread it the wrong direction, you miss any of these steps, or you have issues back at your thread, the machine will not work. The other thing is your bobbin. You want to make sure that your bobbin case is put in all the way. And sometimes if you jam the machine with thread, there might be some thread stuck down in the bottom. So refer back to your owner's manual. There's a couple of little clips and pins that you can manually do this. It doesn't require any tools. And you can take out your hook assembly and you can clean out all of the different things. Also be aware that in time you're going to get a lot of dust and a lot of debris from your leather or your materials. So keep the machine blown out, keep it oiled. I prefer oiling in the mornings versus the evenings, but make sure you oil the machine. If you do over oil it, you may get some on your leather, which is not a great idea, but to keep the machine oiled real well, make sure that your bobbin is threaded correctly, it goes in the correct direction, and make sure that it goes all the way in, and then go through the procedure of pulling your top thread up. And when you start sewing again, don't try to run it with the foot pedal. Go ahead and put your material underneath here and just start turning it by hand. Okay, that's the easiest way. Instead of having just to stomp on the pedal to make sure it works, make sure everything is working that well that way.